Yeah, I, I can see that would have come
Hello.
up somewhere. Somewhere it would have come up.
Okay.
Moo, ting, ting, ting,
Mm,
ting, ting.
Welcome to the
Wow, guys,
podcast.
how's everybody doing out there? We just had a crazy meeting and we've just been here for a half hour discussing the meeting. And so, man, we are just like wasted.
It's terrible. It's not terrible.
It's
Your
great.
brain
It's
gets tired. So we had this group talk to us about a reality show. Maybe we
careful.
mentioned it, and but we had a big meeting about it now, and like Paul said, it was very heady. Susan,
Yeah, well, what it was this is really exciting because here's the thing, guys. We're going to try on, and I don't know how it'll look, so don't ask for details, but we're going to try on a positive themed, like just fun and games, Cowsill reality show that has no, like, network or anything, but could someday. And we've got wonderful people who really would like to do this with us. They approached us and we want to do it. So we had our first meeting, and like, we're the freaking Clampets, and they were real and they're wonderful peeps with great ideas. Go, Paul.
Oh,
Oh, that
no,
was
I was,
okay.
we're
So
like our
so
drop
and so we
backs.
just came from there. We really want to do this thing because it's cool. But like you guys know, we're snow day peeps, so there was a lot of official stuff. Polly, what do you got?
well, what we need is a story, like what to tell. Okay. We've told so much. So and the three of us, we need to get together. We'll be on a bus together doing the Happy Together tour. And we're going to start thinking, but we were thinking, could you guys out there, councilfan.com, if you guys could come up with some kind of scenario to put the three of us in, the Cowsills in the scenario that you think would work in this day and age, because we're just trying to think of, they're saying, yeah, just do special things. Well, we don't know about special things. So maybe you could tell us what would be special things on our podcast that
For
you
our
guys would go,
fans who would
wow,
know
how
best.
special is that?
We'll be there and
So,
film it. See, guys, it's like this. They suggest things like, our podcast, it's based on that, but they want us to keep the podcast, but their idea is to move it over to YouTube with increased content. Okay, they want more than just an interview
Content
or just a visit between the three of us. They want stuff from the summer tour, stuff from the road, stuff from here, from there, or your
from the
life, this,
bus, from
that, and
the
everything
they
in
laundry.
want
between.
us, they want us to be at a dairy farm during the summer milking cows.
Yeah, which we've done. So that's not a problem. But like this, so Paul, excellent idea. Hey, Council people who know us the best. What do you think if we were going to become the Jay Leno's of the world one day? What do you think we need to be seen doing that'll just be so flippin' charming and hilarious and fun to add on this other separate place where we'll have extra content to get us to where we want to go so we can honor our legacy and have a show at the end of our lives?
Yeah, and they're talking that move to YouTube with content off of the podcast. Y'all will have to pay like $1 or $2.
Oh no, that's
There'll be
Patreon.
it'll
Patreon.
be a monetization, huh?
Patreon is one of the formats that YouTube, Patreon.
Oh,
This is
right,
I was
right,
writing
right.
notes. I don't know what
Exactly.
half of them
But
are.
what they're saying is then that extra special things, which we don't really understand, we can make money. It's monetized at that point. And
We
so
understand that part.
we
The
do, but
goal,
we always do
yeah.
what we do. And to think about like, hey, let's make something up. Like, hey, let's hide something on Susan and watch her crash from being so freaked out.
That could happen any hour, every hour.
I know.
Let's stick with that example though, because within this
Must
thing Paul just described where you monetize it, they're saying within that you can even have a tier. You have a tier there where this level, well, you just get that. Susan's got a problem. The next level, Susan's crashing. The third level, okay, what happened to Susan? So we're supposed to come up with
stop that.
levels
This is
to make
supposed to
it
be a positive,
Or
inspiring podcast.
a third level would be like taking a shower with us.
Okay, now here's what's going to happen. Council people are going to text back. We want to see Susan crash. We want to see. Come on, y'all, stop it.
No,
We're really
trying
looking
to
for
be
some
real.
that's an example. You know what
Sorry.
we could do every week, you guys? Listen, I'm talking to you, Bob, and you, Susan. So Monday morning we get up, we have coffee and the camera's on in the bus, okay? And then all of a sudden we get a call. Okay. And it's a call. And you look and you go, oh my God. And the call could be whatever. We could make up the call, who it was, and then create around this call, trouble. Oh, somebody had a crash, or I mean, I hate to say that,
Somebody
but
had a flat tire and doesn't know how to proceed. You're going to help.
yeah, or
You have
something like
lug
that.
nuts.
And it could always start with a call, fade to black, and then come up, and here we are outside changing the tire. Hey, everybody.
Oh no, we're nervous about it. We're thinking of it.
Yeah, we're really nervous because we want to do it, but we just don't know. We just don't know. So help us out, whatever you think. Paulie, I would like to use the model you use though. Paul thinks it would be like the monkeys show, like where we're all around hanging out, and then we have all these little clips that we go out and do. We're all being wacky on the beach or wacky at the car wash, wacky at the,
We gotta go. What? We gotta go.
Sounds like younger versions of us. I can hear it and see it.
I know.
I think they're in our milk commercials.
Exactly. We could dress up in little kid outfits. Susan, with a onesie, and me and Bob with hats on, and
I don't know. But we want to do it. We want you all to know, and including
and that's what we're talking about, gang. So if you're sitting at home and you think, wow, you just think of something and you go to put it on, you go, oh, that's just too much. Send it. Okay. It'll never be too much. Don't worry.
They don't even like our worldly backdrops. They didn't understand those, you guys.
They don't like them.
And they think we should perk that up with some personality. But you've all heard us talking about Susan being the sound effects square, and we've had different backdrops for occasion, but they want a lot of that.
And they are business and they know what they're talking about. So
they know what they want.
We are the ones who want.
They do. I think we've just discovered something, even if you guys don't agree with me, Bob and Susan, but I think you can all start with a phone call while we're sitting there early in the morning, and whatever that phone call is what the show's about.
Well, I won't be getting any early phone calls then, because I don't want to do that episode.
Hey, no, that's the story. It's for Susan. Oh no. Hey, listen.
Guys, wait. We said when we were approached by B that we were not interested in a reality TV show like that. And he said he wasn't either. But we
might have to bring him back that way.
Paul's saying if we don't have some scripted contact text and that phone doesn't ring on the bus in the morning, the phone's not gonna ring. So it's like
we're gonna give what we can give. That's what we've committed to, guys. We're gonna go out on the tour, and we're gonna do. Go ahead, Paul.
What I was going to say is so I just want to let you guys know, because I can think about it calmly if it starts with a phone call. Okay. Now I can go on the other side of that line and start writing all the funny things that could come in on a phone call that we could do.
We can make them up.
Yeah, we can make episodes that way. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Paul's phone call. He's got his niche.
The phone call of the day segment could be pretty good. Because we can go anywhere with that. Hey, we're giving our ideas away. The folks are going to hear our first phone call. Pay to
come see them.
The people who hear our first phone call on the bus, watch it'll be a real one. They'll think it's fake. It's going to be a mess. But Paul said, I feel better if I could do something like that. I feel better knowing that I don't have to even think about this until June 1st.
There's two of us there.
Now you're talking.
We're good stewards of our careers now. We made a commitment to be good stewards of our career, and gosh darn, that's what we're doing. We're coming for you, Fallon. I hope you hear that we talk about you, Jimmy Fallon. We're coming to your
Remember, driveway. Susan,
what
their position on your Fallon idea, and just if new listeners, Susan's idea is that we show up in front of the MB wherever he films his show, Fallon, with our guitar and ourselves and our sign saying you have us on. Now they're saying we got to do that ourselves and film it and send it to them. Thanks.
Exactly.
I think they could meet us in New York because it's close to Philly.
Maybe, Brian,
I know that Brian would come to New York.
I think he would for that one.
Standing for a week straight. And Jimmy, you guys were going to find out where he drives into work every day, because everybody drives into work every day somewhere. And me, Bob, and Paul with a poster board that says, "Hey, it's us, the Cowsills. We want to be on your show, and this is the only way we figured it would happen." And he'll go by every day and go. And then the people in the car will go, "No, that's really them." And he'll be, is this real? Are those really the cows? What? Go ahead, Bob.
Sponsors of the Fallon Show who are listening to Susan right now, you can underwrite this. Okay, we're going to need hotel, airfare. We got to be fed. Yeah. So
Yeah, this
Fallon's
is what
brought to
we
you
need.
by Dawn dish detergent. Man, come
I
on,
think it's a
give us
hand
a ring.
lotion.
Well, you know what's funny? Knowing Jimmy Fallon's show, somehow somebody comes out of that door with a camera and starts asking us, "What the hell are you people doing?" And then
Guys,
Jimmy will be there and we'll hear him. He'll go, "All right, bring him in. Bring him in. Jesus
this
Christ,
is
get him
my
off my
vision.
sidewalk."
He won't be able to. He won't. If that
Yeah.
man, I don't care. I don't know him, but I know him enough from his show that if he literally sees with
Yeah.
his eyes, he won't not bring us
You know what?
in.
I love it. By the second day, I can see someone getting into his office. They won't go away. So there'll be 2 days of that before the fall
Yes.
move,
All
where
week.
someone
We got
comes
nothing.
out.
We'll play at the cutting room. We'll
Yes.
do it when we're at the cutting room. Come see us tonight, even if you want. We'll make, I don't know. Each day I could have a little exercise.
Maybe not a winter
Happening,
event.
guys. I've seen it. It's happening.
Maybe
It's
not a winter
You
event.
die laughing,
Spring.
do it.
How about
Oh,
spring?
it could be cold in
Oh, yeah.
December.
Let's wait for
Trust me.
spring. Maybe Happy Together will do it. Maybe we'll pick
And we got to make sure we're not there when they're showing reruns.
right because he won't be here. No, it's going to take some sleuthing to find out what his
Yes.
route
And
is.
then Rock can have, all the press there. Rock
Yeah.
will make sure
Stage
everything's
6,
there.
we'll hear about this.
Yeah. I mean, this is
And if
kind of
there's
like,
anyone inside the Fallon camp that's listening to this, if we could get an inside person, that's excellent. That would be helpful. So
We don't
think
need
about
him.
it. If it's you, it's a fun thing. It's nothing anti anything. We're
No,
very
if he
harmless.
ignores us, we'll just go home and have laughed our butts off for a full week.
It's very hard to ignore. They won't go away.
yeah.
I just can't imagine.
That's our running down Hollywood Boulevard naked.
Right.
Doing that is exactly what I'm talking about.
Where I'm in, God knows it was, yeah.
Because we're
We're
moving
doing
along.
this, guys.
It's only 10 minutes till the guest gets here. And we talked so much last week. We never even announced the guests. They just
Let's
dropped
roll
in
that
on
way.
us.
Bob, tell him what's up. Paul?
We have a great guest today. As you know, we did the California Music Hall of Fame, and there, waiting for us to bond with and be friends with and talk to, was Frank Stallone. And I immediately acted like a fan when I heard Frank liked us. It was like, he likes us? What do you mean? What does that mean? He likes us? Yeah, he knows who you are. And then we ended up talking to Frank, and he's going to be on the show today. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, he asked to take a picture, or we were all taking pictures. And he was like right standing with us, and I'm in front of him, way too short, not looking at him. And he's like, "Whoa, this is great." Cowsills. And I'm like, "Oh my God." I go, "Hey, want to be on our podcast?" He goes, "Well, yeah." And we were like, "We'll see you tomorrow."
And you know this, I know that Frank has a documentary out, you guys, and I watched it. You got to watch this thing. It's incredible. Frank is constantly saying, "I've got no legacy," and you watch the whole thing, and it's legacy. He's already created it. He's still looking for it. So we're going to have to get into that with him.
Feels like he doesn't have it. Let's find out.
Yeah. So you got to watch it. Stallone. Frank, that is.
Frank, that is. Oh, that's a good name. And also, this man has 3 platinum albums and 10 gold albums. So far, we've had neither. 60 movies. We did a theme song for one. I mean, this legacy is so huge to us.
Huge.
It's bigger than ours,
Huge.
which makes it bigger than ever. But he measures his legacy against an even bigger legacy. So we all have that. It's just a trip to go through life that way. And we've all done it. And Frank's done it. We do it. We're always fighting for our legacy and ourselves. Like Paul reminded us of that, that we do fight for our position. Yeah, we think we deserve the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Our credentials measure up to more than many of the groups that are in there.
You guys,
absolutely.
Is this like content? Like, would I leave the podcast to go answer the door from UPS and then show what I got if I could on my screen? Would that be
It depends on what you got.
Yeah, this is a failed segment right now. You're disappearing. You're back.
I always have technological problems.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're all diving down the Frank Stallone wormhole. Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Like, this guy's playing a ukulele at 5, I think. We get to ask about fun stuff.
being
Good stuff.
an older brother
Hey,
of your punk
Friday,
brother, it's going to get
Friday we're taking off for North Tonawanda. Okay,
oh
we're gonna
gigs.
be with you in North Tonawanda. It's up near Buffalo. We're opening for the Buckinghams, Shades of Blue. There's 4 groups on this bill.
That's
I
going to
don't
be a
know where
blast.
we're at. We're doing an acoustic half-hour set there, along with the
Hey,
Bucks.
so
And
Bob, but to
yeah,
that point, so have you got a hold of Glenn, the music guy?
no,
Are you
I've not
watching
talked
my?
to anybody.
Okay, because he's wanting all the chord sheets. You must have sent him something because he's only wanting "We Can Fly," "Love American Style," and I don't know which other one. And I wrote him and I said he wanted a set list, and I put the 5 hits, and that's almost 20 minutes there, 25. And then I said we might do a cover tune or two, and then I went no, probably if we do a cover tune, it'll be one. Uh, but uh, but anyway, so do you want me to just tell him we're not going to use the backing band?
Is that what
This
this is
Cowsill
about? They
meeting is
have a
brought to you
band.
by the
Yes,
Cowsill Podcast.
yes.
They
It
have a
almost
band.
seems as what?
Okay, they have a
Yeah, they have
backing
a
band.
band, and it seems like you might have sent him a chord sheet or something because he's not asking for Hair or Rain in the Park
He
and
might
other
already have
things.
it, Polly. Maybe they already have it, possibly.
Oh,
Heard,
okay.
I've heard from nobody about anything
But they're
other
Well,
asking.
but
than
he's been sending these emails to us three. I've been answering them, and I always reply all. So check Glenn out. Glenn
I
is
saw them one
tech.
And
yesterday. I'll
guys,
look at that. Yeah,
this is
Do
how
that.
the podcast goes sometimes. We do
Just
business
reach out to
meetings.
him and say, yeah, no, we won't need any charts. We're just going to acoustic it.
do
So
that. And then, did you get any info about the merchandise and a meet and greet with these 4 groups? Anything
no,
like that?
no, but I'm going in on that.
All right, cool.
I just got an email from my last questions to him,
Okay.
and yeah,
I'll
yeah,
follow. I'll
yeah.
follow up. Casties, but people listening in, please get in touch with me. Remind me after this to get in touch with this guy in North
I
Tonawanda.
was just
Thank
going
you.
to say, you guys,
It's
we
like
just
they're
had
in
a
a
lovely
meeting.
business meeting with our castees, which we
Yeah.
do sometimes. I tried to bring it to our attention, but you two were and I think this is good content.
The Together tour is set. We think.
Okay, so we're
Although our
Frank will
itinerary
bing us
is
in.
not,
It'll all be
we
over.
did not get an itinerary from our company or agent or anything like that. We're getting it from Ron Dante and people like that. Looks like it's 50 cities, folks. Looks like it's starting in Alabama, Oxford, Alabama on the 30th, or is it the 31st?
Oxford,
31st, first, the
Alabama,
31st.
or
Oxford,
Mississippi?
Alabama on the 31st.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's going to be.
50.
Yeah, and we have extras. We got the gigs in the second break there, and we've got the Stafford, Texas gig on the 29th, and a lot going on after the
A lot
2nd
going
of
on.
September.
Are
Because
you
we
guys
are
nervous
coming,
about
So
Frank?
Stafford is the same as Tonawanda in that
yeah,
we
half
have.
hour. We better look at that contract. If they start mentioning providing horns and things like that, we better look at that. Might be the same thing.
Right, right.
Can
Yeah.
I tell a horn story that I think
Also,
you would love? Never mind. Go ahead, guys.
yeah, if they have horns, horn away, baby. We're with you.
Well, listen, our friend Jackson Brown just did a show with some local guys from New Orleans, the Bonaramas. They are our badass band, brass guys, local, huge. They've been on Letterman. Okay, or fat, one of the big things they got on once. Okay, but Jackson was a part of the benefit. And Mullins, the guy, I said, go in and let him know you're a homie and say hi. We're family friends. So he goes in and he tells the beauty he did, and it was great. And Jackson actually sent me a selfie of him and Mark. Hi, Susan, look who I found. But here's the funny part. And like when we go, you guys, Castilles, to do these shows with people we don't know who are the musicians waiting with charts and things, and they know the music, they're ready to jump in with us. Okay. So my horn guys were going to join this benefit that Jackson was in. They came in for rehearsal with Jackson. Jackson comes in and he looks and he goes, oh, hello, what are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we were asked to make horn parts for this song. And Jackson goes, well, I've done this song live for 40 years without horns, so I'm wondering if it's necessary. And then Mark just goes, well, yeah, I can dig that. Should we not? He goes, let's just rehearse. And he goes to do the song and the boys do the part. And Jackson comes up and he goes, well, that was lovely. Would you, do this with me tonight? It was just like, I mean, that's a hard thing to go into, and I don't know if people know how the production of that works sometimes. So I thought I would share that these are tenuous situations when you're a trio and you're plugging into another band, but it can also be quite a lovely experience.
We've pretty much done that a number of times. Your job at that point is to just everyone to elevate each other into the
and it was cool because he loved it.
Where it's going to be. Hey, Frank is in a window. His name is there.
Frank is coming. Frank is coming down the
Stallone,
pike.
Y'all. Frank
coming
Stallone.
down the pike.
Yeah,
He's connecting to audio. This is so exciting.
Let him get his technical. Hey, he is our age. Hey, his Frank is red.
That's all right. He's getting his sound on. He's doing it.
I'm trying to make it go away with my finger guy. That won't work.
Oh no, you can't operate his square. I don't think so. Hey, listen, this is what we all do. Remember when I got in?
People our age, I mean, there are some older folks who do know technology, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Most of the people that we find are technologically shy, they always have a young person there.
That means they have to learn it themselves.
And we've experienced not having that convenience, which is why it takes us a little longer to figure things out, like Zoom and all that business. Hey, but it's cool seeing Frank's name there. It's fun having stars on the podcast, folks, because we're fans. And if we're fans, man, we know you're fans. And
let's be honest.
That's a great guest to have when you're a fan of the guest.
First. Yep. I think we're fans first, guys, because we were such little kids and people when we were kids. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I'm going to give context. We grew up in this business at a very high level. For 5 years, we were a very high level operating this business. And we just never, ever believed that anyone noticed us or that liked us or wanted to tour with us or interact.
Thought we were cool at all.
Just never thought it. So as adults later in life, this started with Happy Together, finding out, well, like Frank Stallone, he really digs you guys. And my first, he does.
Hey, Agent 99. I loved the Cowsills.
You
did? I had Kim Basinger. Basinger show up at the pub once years ago, telling me how her and her sisters grew up singing to our music. Crazy. And I'm sitting there going, you did? You did not. I want to say that,
Come on.
Yeah. And it's funny because when we make a call to, somebody that we're hoping they have that same vibe, we always go, yeah, with the Cowsills, and they go, the who?
Yeah.
Anytime I'm reaching out to anyone, we're with the Cowsills, parentheses, a group from the 60s with the mother in it, had a few hits, close parentheses.
Right.
I feel I have to say something. So they're not going,
yes. Are you guys related to the Partridge Family?
Yeah. I thought of content for our new reality show, and it's the Jonas Brothers interview we did. That would be cohesive to our life.
Okay, start video.
Okay.
There you are. Jesus, God, we are getting old because I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Man, I'm telling you,
Frank,
I hate it.
I see the wall behind you, Frank, and I want to run and get my 1 gold record and put it behind my head or something.
I want to get a fake background with a bunch of people's gold records that aren't mine, because that's the only way I would have a bunch.
You know what? You know what's funny? I was telling Bob, the first time I saw you guys, was your first show The Tonight Show or
oh my gosh, Frank.
It was Ed.
No,
was it Ed? I thought it was The Tonight Show because I remember I saw you guys the first time, and you were singing "The Rain, the Park," and other things, but it was live.
Ed Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan. Yeah.
And we did it on The Tonight Show too, but live was Ed Sullivan, Frank. And
I thought it was great, man, because to me, I envy you guys. There's 2 shows I never got to do: The Tonight Show and Ed Sullivan, because I was too old.
Give context to that comment, Frank. This is from a man. This is from a man who had 3 platinum albums, 8 gold albums. He was in 60 movies, Grammy nominated, Golden Globe nominated. But despite all of that, these are the 2 things
Oh
That-
yeah, man.
That's
Because that was the
exactly.
big, that was the, in those days, that was the apex. I mean, the thing
Yes.
is Ed Sullivan, The Tonight Show, and American Bandstand. But by the time I did American Bandstand '83 with Far From Over, it was kind of not it wasn't the same show. It would have been, I would
No,
have liked to done Where the Action Is or Hullabaloo or Shindig. But
Yeah,
or
Shindig.
happening.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
happening.
they
Yeah.
were cool. I wasn't on any of those.
They were.
I
We
remember
needed.
Susan, you did a special. I think who was it with? But you were wearing like a yellow dress with go-go boots.
Okay, that was our NBC
Everybody
special
loves
with
somebody
Buddy Ebsen.
sometime.
Was
No,
that
that
Dean
wasn't
Martin
Dean.
or
That was our
Andy Wayne?
special.
Oh,
Dean
That
Martin.
was Dean Martin, right?
yes,
Oh,
when I
thought
was
you meant
solo.
Buddy Epson, not Buddy Epson.
Buddy Ebsen, you were wearing yellow, I remember.
Okay, so that's a clip from our TV
Your
show. we had on
documentary,
NBC.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it in the documentary, but
Yeah,
it came from, we had an NBC 1 hour special, and that clip came out of that.
That was a great, great documentary. Because, like, again, I'm serious, man. I love all your songs, like Indian Lake, Love Americans. I really do, because, being a singer, there's something about a family that sings together, a la the Osmonds, the Everly Brothers. There's just that vocal thing that just ties in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the D&D
there-
thing.
And it's
Same
just
with Frank.
it's like effortless. My brother is totally tone deaf. He couldn't carry a note in a handbag. Seriously.
Oh, we had
So
one
he's
here.
never sung on any of your records.
Oh God, you kidding? There's a funny story. I had no money. This was about 1978, and he was doing Paradise Alley. And
Oh.
I was living in an $85 a month apartment in New Jersey at that point. And they said, hey, they want you to sing the title to Paradise Alley, which was like his, I think, third movie after Rocky. And they'll pay you $5,000, which to me, I'd never seen $500. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of money.
So they fly me out to California, and I'm sick. I sang in the movie some parts, like, it's 1940s. And they said, Sly says to me, well, they've talked me into singing the title song. I said, you sure you want to do that? I mean, you are the worst singer in history. But he had these managers, and this is before they had auto-tune. He must have done 500 takes or something. But anyway, they still gave me the $5,000. He did it. And to this day, he goes, what was I thinking? I said, you weren't, obviously. But, and
Frank,
just,
So no, you didn't have sibling harmonies with your brother.
no.
Hey,
So-
Frank.
Yeah.
Bob.
Oh, I just was going to say, you're talking about our documentary. Well, I watched your documentary, and that's Stallone, Frank, that is.
Uh-huh.
And
I love the name, title great.
it was an incredible story. I mean, you're a man with a huge legacy, but all the way through it, you keep saying, yeah, and I never made it, and I never made it. Sure, I did this song, but then there was a 7-year lull, and so I never made it. So why was that? The agency, the manager, what was holding you back?
You know what? I never really had an agency or manager. It was like, it's like what you were talking about. Like you're amazed when people go, wow, I really love the Cowsills, because
Yeah, it's shocking.
So like when Lenny Kravitz came up to me and Jim goes, hey man, I really dig your stuff or stuff like that. And they're like, you listen to my stuff? You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
we know
Yes.
that.
I didn't have, like most artists, and it's not, I just had no mentorship, no leadership. There was no Irving Azoffs. There was none of that stuff. So I of course, I came out with my album on RCA right when Rocky came out. So it doesn't matter if I was the Eagles. Nothing could have eclipsed Rocky at that point, So
Yeah, your timing
I-
sucked on that one, Franklin.
yeah, I became like all of a sudden Rocky's brother instead of like Frank Stallone. So, but
Yeah.
by the time Rocky came out, let's see, I turned professional in 1965. So by the time Rocky
Wow.
came out, I'd been a professional playing, clubs and stuff for 12 years. So it was always like, oh, Frank Stallone's band. Yeah, Frank's band, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, overnight, it became, oh, that's Rocky's brother. That's why I called my documentary Stallone, Frank, that is.
It is.
No,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got that.
I
We
did
got
all
that.
these movies, and these really cheesy movies when I started out. Like, I started doing my movies, like these bad action movies. And on the poster, they'd had Stallone. And then this big underneath would be Frank. And then Robert Mitchum's son, Stallone Mitchum.
Oh,
Chris.
shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's like,
All
okay.
right. You dealt with that. You dealt with
Hey,
that.
Bob.
Huh.
Bob, so Frank speaks of 1965 when he became professional. He's like 5 years old and he does
He's
he
14, I
sings that
think.
Hey,
No,
all
I'm
right, time
in
out.
74.
church or
Time
something.
out, boys. I get to take over now because you're getting into my territory.
All
Frank,
right.
Yes,
You go
you know what
ahead.
I'm talking about, Frank. Hold on.
Yes.
It's my time to ask him about his early childhood, which I've already should have done. Now
Uh-huh.
you're starting to back into it on me. So I need to be able to
Do
ask
it.
you. Yes.
Go ahead,
So
Suze.
Frank, I like
Yeah.
to say at the beginning, but we're in the middle. Welcome to the Cowsill podcast. And I want to say to you, shut up, Paul. Shut up, Paul. You could do this with your brother on podcast. That I would watch that. So listen though, what I want to know. So you're older than your brother.
No, I'm
and
younger, actually.
No.
I'll be 74. He'll be 78.
Oh, okay. All right. So look, here's my bottom lines. You were born in Maryland and then y'all moved to New York. Is that right?
No, I was born in New York. We stayed there a month. Then I grew up in Maryland. Then my mom got divorced and we moved to Philadelphia. So I was
Okay.
basically Philadelphia, Maryland, Florida, kind of.
How old are you when all that's going on?
When my parents got divorced, I was 6.
Okay.
Wow.
And they took me from public school, which was basically in first grade, to Catholic school, which they were like
Sorry.
writing longhand, and we were still like printing, So I
Got it.
failed first grade. So there you go.
So you're
Palmer
growing up in a
method.
house. You're growing up in this house.
Mhm.
You got a mama who's an astrologer, a
Mhm.
dad who's a hairdresser. So
Right.
you have creative, artistic. She's also a dancer, right? I mean, you've got some art in your house.
Little bit. My father
Okay.
was a
So then my
hairdresser.
question is, we know that you're Frank Stallone now. We know you're a musician, singer, songwriter, actor, boxer guy. But did you or your brother, but you only really have any other aspirations besides music or acting? Were you wanting to be a fireman? Did you dig?
Never. No.
So you were 100%. Can I ask you, what do you think created that for you? Where did that come from? For us, it's in our blood. Our grandmother sang, our mom sang, so boom, we sing.
I think, when I was 6 years old, I remember when my family was by the house, I started singing, I started getting attention. Right around that time, almost it means like instantly, Elvis Presley's on, Ed Sullivan's show. And I'm like 6 years old. All my Italian immigrant families there were watching. I mean, Elvis looks like a Martian to them. They're used to Mario Lanza and, Julius LaRosa and stuff. And I'm sitting
He looks really weird in that.
Yeah, and I'm going, oh, this is like the coolest guy I've ever seen. It was like I've never seen anything like it in my life. So that was it. So I wanted to be the Everly Brothers. I wanted to be, Elvis, all that stuff like that. And then when the Beatles came out, I think my mother said, "I think we've lost them." When I saw the Beatles, that put the nail in the coffin. That was it.
Okay.
I mean, probably like you, it's just I think it's just the God's gift, and it's just a natural progression. It just seems like natural to me. Like I didn't want to be a fireman or a cop.
For sure. Well, I did have other things I wanted to do, and but this was my nature. So here I am. And you'd be surprised when you ask other people. Sometimes they're like, "Yeah, I was actually going to be a civil engineer, but this thing called me, and my parents hate me, and all kinds of crazy answers." So
I was going to be a ball player,
back to my brothers. What, Paulie?
I was going to be a ball player.
If I was interviewing you, man, that's where I wanted to go. All right, guys, take it.
Frank, your early groups, your early bands, you said you turned pro in 65. No, so did you form bands with your friends and stuff? What kind of cover tunes? What were you playing?
Oh man, well of course everyone played Gloria, everyone played Louie Louie. I mean, all the normal stuff. But I remember I joined this band, and it was a drummer and a guitar player. But we didn't have a bass player, so I had like a guitar. We just took all the treble off, so I was just playing chords. That was the bass. I remember our first gig was in someone's backyard on the lawn, and they paid us, I think, $1.50 for the whole band, or something like $2, and we were like ecstatic. And then finally, I said, "Well, I'm going to get a bass guitar." I never got to play it. I mean, I know I didn't have the Paul McCartney thing where you could sing in right hand, left brain stuff. So then I got guitar, and then we got a real bass player, and then we got a guy we talked his parents into buying him an organ, a Farfisa mini compact organ.
We had a
Yeah.
Farfisa.
It's like a big thing, I mean,
Yeah.
$300 in
that.
1965 is a lot of money. His parents are going, now, if you get bad grades, that was the big thing. If your grades are bad, we're going to take your instruments
All
away.
bets are off.
My grades, I think I got 1 A in my life. I failed music. I think I was mostly D's and E's, maybe a C. So,
Right
but
here,
Steel
right here,
equipment then?
right here.
You didn't?
not by equipment. I remember, I had a Fender Tremolox amp, and then I had a guitar I bought for $150. Seriously, that's all I had. I saved up all summer. I went to a music store. I said, I want to buy a guitar. The guy goes, all right, go in the back with the old crap, right? And I saw this guitar. It kind of looked like a Gibson Firebird. I paid $150 for it. Of course, I traded that guitar, went for $1 million. There was only like 4 made by Gibson. A Gibson.
Unbelievable.
I'm
Unbelievable.
like, oh, God.
No guidance.
So
Who knew?
I traded it for a Rickenbacker because me being a dummy, because, Beatles played Rickenbacker, I figured, well, you probably have to go to Germany to get one. You'll never see one because I was really into the Birds and all. And then I realized they're from Fullerton, California. And I traded that Explorer. So I went back. I said, hey, man, I'd like to get that guitar back. The guy goes, yeah, you see it, man. Look what we did. They cut the points off it and put like a snakeskin pick guard on it.
Oh,
I'm like,
Ruined it.
yeah.
oh, yeah, ruined it. Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, man, I got to tell you, I don't know about you. I wouldn't trade those days because there was, your kid and there was so much to look for. There were so many teen magazines, all these TV shows showing all these, the Kinks and everything like that. I think it was a glorious time. The girls are wearing go-go boots, mini skirts.
Me too. We all agree.
I mean, that was like when you did your shows, like who would make you wear whatever outfits you were wearing? I know you wore kind of matching in the beginning.
We were not in charge at all. And we did what we were told to do. And if they said you're all wearing purple tuxedos, we wore purple tuxedos. You're wearing orange Nehru suits. We wore orange Nehru suits.
How about Susan when your mom goes, okay, honey, you're going to wear like a mini
pretty much almost the same thing, but because the fashion was really cool and I was 8, old enough to care.
Yeah.
And she was young enough. She was in her 30s.
She wore go-go boots. Yeah.
We went to we went to boutiques. We wore cool stuff. So we were both okay because our fashion was okay by us. Now, Mom didn't really do it well, so she had to be guided. But all my stuff, sadly, in some cases, when I look at it, I can tell when I've been dressed. What, Polly?
Well, I was just going to say to Frank's point in that, what a great time it was back then. It was a great time, not just for us, the artists, but for our audiences and for the kids that was such a great time. They are unable to leave it behind, and they're still filling up auditoriums. Those same people that were
cruise boats.
It's crazy how and that shows you what a great time it was because we're still living it. Nobody wants to grow up and past
you know what? And you guys sound great. I tell you, my friend invited me to the Happy Together show at the Saban Theater, and I know Ron Dante pretty well, for a long time. And I said, well, the Cowsills, the association and everyone's, of course you get, the Hollywood. Oh, well, let's see what everyone sounds like. And you guys sounded amazing. I was sitting there with my friends.
You've seen us in Happy Together, Frank Stallone.
I loved it. I had so much fun. Well, it's all hit songs. It's all like great. It's an up show. It's very well.
Somebody would tell us.
All hit songs.
And it's very well produced. The background band is great.
Yeah. Yes. Oh God, yeah. Happy Together.
Freeing them, man.
They more
How many gigs do you do? How many of those do you do a year? Do they go on?
No, so it's just summer. Just summer. We have 50 this summer. We have 59 last summer. They're one-nighters. We live on a
it goes on to 3 months.
We live on a bus.
When not in the summer, do you do like fairs, amusement parks?
That's our full band. We have full band shows. The 3 of us go on Happy Together. They share the band. But we have our sons in our band, and Susan's husband's our drummer. We have a full
John
band
doesn't play drums for you, right?
No, he
just finished a 23-year tenure with the Beatles.
The Beach Boys.
I know. And so
Ah,
we're
And
waiting
right
for
now he's working with
John's
his
coming
wife.
off that high, we think, because man, what a career.
Yeah,
I can't
it's
imagine it.
crazy.
I can't
He
imagine it.
doesn't
But
want to
no,
hang, he doesn't want to hang with La Familia, right, and do the gig.
Well, let's just
he's
say that as he has retired from the Beach Boys, he's taken on some more personal and long-awaited projects with Vicky Peterson, his wife, my best friend, our
Is that
sister.
it from the Go-Go's?
Bangles from the
Bangle.
Bangles.
Oh, is that his wife?
Yeah,
Oh,
and Vicky was like has been my best friend for 40 years,
she's
and they
doing
got
great.
married
Yeah.
about 20 years ago.
Mhm.
And so they've got a lot going on.
Oh,
And
okay.
we were kind of right in the middle of releasing an album with the band we've had for 18 years. So, Johnny will, the worlds will collide, but right now he's a free man. I think he even gets unemployment. I think it's awesome.
yeah, and we do all those fairs in August, Frank. All the fairs, the Kentucky, the Minnesota, the Indiana.
Yeah.
We do those on the Happy Together tour.
Mhm.
All those fairs.
You know what? It's got to be fun. Listen, you know what? At our age, it's good to be doing anything. And
Yes.
doing something you
kidding.
love. And also, by the way, now I'm in the liquor business. I have Uncle Frank's bourbon.
God,
Oh my gosh.
You have a
Yeah, and
cinnamon?
I got to tell
I
you,
wish I had things to ring.
it's
You have a
doing
cinnamon one?
great. It's doing great. And it really, I swear to God, it really, really is good because I have a few of my friends that are like bourbon, and I'm not a big drinker, but friends of mine that are bourbon snobs.
Yes,
And they're
yes.
going, man, this is, of course they get into all the BS. Well, the smell. I said, just drink it and shut up, will you? It's like people,
Yeah.
like when they have a glass of wine, the bouquet. I said,
Please.
oh, Christ. I grew up on Boone's Farm.
I love
Right.
good
$2
alcohol, my
Chuck.
friends.
Lancers.
Chuck, yeah.
Lancers.
Yeah.
Hey,
So I
Frank,
have a
Lancers was
question.
big, yeah.
go ahead, Paul.
Frank, I got a question for you. So, Stallone, Frank, that is,
Yeah.
that documentary. What I'd like you to do is talk a little bit about that. It was great. I just had such an entertaining time with you that night. It was just incredible.
Thank
And and you were talking about, you'd have this big hit, and then you'd have, all of a sudden you thought you were clicking, and it didn't. So now you've got Stallone Frank that is out. Are you feeling any different vibe, or are you getting more shows?
No,
how's that work
none.
for you?
I don't work hardly at all. I mean, that's why I started a bourbon company. I mean, it's for some reason, I think just the die is cast because it's like I'm like swimming upstream all the time. So I mean, I get what you probably get all the time, like I get all the time. When people come see my show, they go, "Wow, man, you guys are really good." I didn't know. I said, "What did you think I did?" I walked around in
Yes.
camouflage with like an M60. I mean, so the thing is, it's still, I thought after I had all the Grammy nomination, I thought all that would end. So, okay, I've arrived, but it just, I mean, you've had it up and boom.
What do you
kidding.
think? What do you think the cause is? Because look,
We're
don't
trying
know.
to figure it out.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. So do you think it's just, are you not ambitious? Or do we care more about our personal lives than our?
No, I'm really ambitious. I
Okay.
didn't get into this to make money. I got into it because there was something I could do, and I loved it. I mean, I didn't get into. I was one of those little kids go, "Oh God, I'll make all this money." We just wanted to meet girls and have a good time and be
Okay,
good.
got you.
And have our friends say, "Wow, the band's good." We won the battle of the bands when I was in high school, so that was my thing. But I think I never, I don't know, I never had good management. I never had a good agency, and I've done
Right.
81 movies, and
Wow.
I just never had that. I never had that
What
team.
you do
Like, if
have-
you guys would have been like the Eurythmics, it'd be a whole different scene.
Right.
If you have had like this, all these, people behind you, like all the
At
records.
that
We
time.
get to manage with there are many times, Frank, we self-manage, and we've told ourselves many times that's a problem. But it's what happened, and it's what we do. But
Yeah.
I do want to share one thing about Frank that he wouldn't say anyway. He is still a great singer, and I'll tell you why. I know
Yeah.
it. So he sang at the California Music Hall of Fame. You should hear it. It's online. You can go check it out, guys. And it's a clear, clean voice like we have, Susan and Paul.
We had to go, but
Can't they
Bob
have that?
recorded.
Even McCartney's getting that old man warble in it. You can hear it sneaking in.
Yeah.
But Frank just stood there with his
Hey, as
guitar
long
and
as
sold
this.
it just like we do. We do shows with just one guitar, and you do it too. And it's like a part of us goes, "This guy's a great singer." I mean, you played at vibrato a lot. Remember the club, the jazz club in
I used
L.A.?
to play there all the time,
Yes.
and I got sick on stage once, and they fired me. I
Is that
was
what?
real. I had pneumonia. I almost died. I had like pneumonia,
Oh, oh,
and
dude.
yeah, and
See,
they didn't like me because they thought I was like too conservative and I wasn't groovy and hip like Californians. And I said, "Hey, man, I am who I am. That's all. What can I tell you? You know, what happened? I got
yeah.
my face to go away."
Frank,
Yes,
can I
ma'am.
ask you a question?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you play flamenco or classical guitar?
I play nylon string guitars. Yeah.
And do you pick with your fingernails?
Yeah, that's why you see my long fingernails.
Yes, I sent a
Oh,
picture to
yes.
our drummer Russ of because I like to always document who we have, and I take a little shot of the screen, right? And Russ, just my husband asked, "Does Frank Stone play classical or flamenco guitar?
Well,
Specific fingernail trim."
I play with my fingers, nails, and yes, they are fake because I always break them. So there's
Dude,
this
I'll
like
let him know.
They're
Asian guy
attached
down the
guitar
street.
picks.
Yes
Yeah,
to all of it. Okay, thank you
I
guys.
play.
Live.
Attached
That's
I
guitar picks.
fun.
just I play very weird. Sometimes I'll just play with my thumb, you know, like, and sometimes I'll play with the,
Great question,
you know,
honey.
it's kind
Frank,
of
what is your favorite genre? You do so many different genres of music. I've heard them all. Again, I got to keep going back to Stallone, Frank. That was the funnest show. You know, I mean, I
Thank
feel
you.
bad for you sometimes in it because, wow, man, this guy can't catch a break. But boy, it was sure fun to watch your history go. It was incredible.
Yeah, the history, it's a long one. They said I'm still the most famous unknown person in Hollywood.
Well, but
Yeah.
how do
The
we
most
fix
famous
You're
this?
person.
This
not
is like me.
unknown.
I'm sitting here and all I want to do is go, okay, look, honey, let's talk about this. So are you writing right now? Like, are you want to make a record? Do you want to, I mean,
Yeah.
just leave it like this? You
No,
think,
no, no, no. I'm very ambitious. I like to do stuff, but
what the
I,
heck are we doing next, Frank?
yeah, well, I'd love to have you guys sing if I do something else.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
but
there we
what
go.
is your
We just
favorite
heard-
genre of music to do, though, Frank?
You wanted to ask
I would say
that.
I mean, you know, that's why we were talking about happy together. I love pop music. I love great tunes. I love harmonies. I
Cool.
like, you know, I think music's supposed to lift us up and not lift us down, put us
Absolutely.
down.
Yeah,
And I like doing the big band stuff because it's just like
you're good
I
at
feel
it.
like thank you.
I
You
just
feel
got
like
to
Dean
chill up my
Martin.
left side.
It's
That
kind of
means something.
cool.
That's
You know,
a heart attack.
Shut up. I said chill, not numbness.
Oh,
Oh,
but the thing is, yeah, I love doing the big band. I gotta say, as you guys did, we grew up when AM radio was kind of hip. They played Dean
yeah.
Martin, they played
it
the
was
Stones,
everything.
then they played,
Yes.
you know, the Beatles. I mean, so we probably grew up in a more eclectic time than
Agreed.
now. And I think what
Yeah.
really hurt my career after staying alive, all of a sudden, like rap and hip hop came in, and obviously,
Okay.
I went from
Mhm.
working with Harry Nilsson to like, yo, what's up? And I mean, I don't know how to do that music. I mean,
That's tough.
yeah, I'm kind of not
We
the
did it.
greatest on tech.
We did an entire album during the disco craze that was not disco, so we know about that. We
Yeah.
were out of step. But can I ask
What
us?
did you want? Yeah.
Can I have?
Go
I
ahead.
want to ask you something artistically, artistically. Number one, when you write a song, I want to know: are you a melody guy or a lyric guy or both? Or is it always
do
going to be a
both.
melody? You do both.
Both.
Okay. Here's my question specifically. What I want to know. There's a song called "Take You Back," and people, you can go look it up. "Take You Back," Frank Stallone. It's, I think I saw it on the Rocky trailer, maybe, but anyway, it's an
Rocky one,
acapella.
it was Rocky one, it on the street corner singing.
I
Yeah,
want, yeah,
Oh, I
want to
know
know:
that one. I know.
was it
Go ahead.
designed? Was it designed to be acapella? And is that you doing all the harmonies on that rendition, on the recording?
no, that's my band singing on the corner. That is my group. We were playing, you know,
Was
clubs.
that Valentine?
That was Valentine. Yeah.
Okay.
Funny thing, we were
We
playing
was in there.
clubs in New Jersey, and most people don't know, like when you do play clubs, like you probably did, you'd play 4 sets, 40 on, 20 off. So I was playing 168 minutes of music a night, you know, and we were playing, and all of a sudden my brother says, yeah, I'm writing this boxing movie. He said, you want to write a song? Well, I said, what the hell? I don't know how to write a song for a boxing movie. He goes, yeah, but do what you did, standing on the corner. Because I really used to sing a cappella music. I loved like Frankie
Okay.
Lyman, Little Anthony, and the Imperials. So I did it. So they said, listen, I said, and the rest of the guys in the band go, they thought my brother was a little bit, he was like a kind of bodybuilder. We were like skinny guys with hair down to here, like thought we were like artsy fartsy and stuff like that. So the guys go, I don't know if I want to do that movie. And they say, well, offer you $140. Now, we made less than $140 for the whole band the night. I said, yeah, but we're getting $140. They go, no, each. They go, what? It just shows you the times. I said, okay. We went down there, did it. It was a low budget movie. Burgess Meredith was there. And all of a sudden, like a year later, it's like nominated for 10 Academy Awards. It was so weird. And it was just like, so it was kind of designed for the movie. Yeah. Yeah.
Your life is a trip.
And did you get the publishing on that stuff, Frank?
Guess what? My manager, the brilliant man he was, gave my on the spot, sign this. And I signed away my publishing. I had my writers, but not my publishing. And same thing happened. Well, it's happened to everybody. It happened on Staying Alive. I go, okay, wait a second. I have an opportunity to write music for the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, which sold double out 26 million double albums. So
Definitely.
and I said, oh, so of course they give you the thing. Hey, kid, you don't want it? We'll get someone else. And I go, okay. And it's so unfair. Who takes 100% of anything?
A lot of it, man.
Did you guys write any of your stuff on the albums?
We wrote a lot of stuff, not our hit records. Number one, we co-wrote, but our situation was again like yours, and we did have to have a lawsuit with UMG to get back in what was right. Do you have a good relationship with UMG? I think they run your catalog, don't they?
Yeah. What label were you with then when you first
we
came
were
out?
with MGM, and then it went to Polydor. They sold it all to Polydor. I know you were. And then Polydor sold it to UMG. And that's where it sits today. And that's where we finally had to have the fight was there.
Yep.
And
like, so we're hoping. Did Love American Style, did that chart? I thought that was a great song.
No, it was on the flip side of, I think, Hair, maybe. It was up. They put it on a flip side because back then, your flip side made as much money as your A side in terms of sales. And that's all they did with that. Our star was a little bit fading just after that. And again, like we did it, there was no TV show. We just did it as an assignment. We don't think the TV show is going to be a hit. Well, next year the TV show's a hit. And now we're associated with a big hit theme song. But it was almost a missed opportunity. Almost a missed opportunity.
Now, who produced you in those days?
Huh?
Who was your producer on like those early records?
Well, we had Artie Kornfeld producing Rain the Park, and then he got fired. So my brother Bill and I produced the next album, We Can Fly. Then we got fired. So they brought in Tony Romeo and Wes Farrell to produce and write Indian Lake. Then they got fired. Then back to my brother Bill and me for Hair. Then we got fired again for good. And then we did Love American Style. It was just a roller coaster of roller coasters.
I mean, Wes Farrell had a lot of hits, I think, with David Cassidy.
Yeah, Wes was our guy for a minute.
But that was the whole Partridge Family thing. They came to visit us, and they left us behind, but took Tony and Wes Farrell. They took the team and the production and the idea and had a wonderful show. And we were happy with it. That's fun.
Oh, I thought the show was fun. It's like the Monkees when it came out. But the Monkees is a fun show because the songs are great, and they're goofy guys. But it's so camp. But it's like Batman was totally camp. So was the Monkees. It was fun.
Love.
But Frank, the parallel between us. So the Partridge Family, a big, great deal. Well, my dad, he just said, get some good actors. He didn't sell the life rights. We didn't make a dime off of that show. And it was about our family. But Dad was just never got nothing.
Yeah, it's you know what, Paul, it's management. I mean, when you look at the Eagles, I mean, Irving Azoff, they go, well, they call him the devil, but he's our Satan. You know what I mean? But the thing is, these guys pushed, they pushed like, Brian Epstein with the Beatles. Most successful groups had usually a good team behind them. I never had a team. Obviously, your father was your manager, but he wasn't like a music guy, right?
No, my God.
He was a
He was a sailor, right?
yes,
nightmare.
he was a
Yeah, sailor.
military guy.
And we had a
Yeah.
brother who couldn't sing also, Frank.
You did?
Yeah, Bob's
brother
twin brother
Richard-
Richard.
Well, he
You
was
might
the
not remember-
roadie, right?
Yeah.
Well, for a
Well,
minute.
We don't know if you remember, Frank, but our brother Richard,
Thank you.
we think, was on with you on a Howard Stern segment. And the theme was the brothers, that weren't in the group, let's say, quote unquote. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
And
It
our
was.
brother Richard, look, our dad, his greatest misstep was taking 1 out of 7 children and telling that kid, "You're not invited to the party." That was his biggest misstep ever.
He was the Peter Best of the Cowsills.
Yeah, but he was his brother, so that was not
got
cool.
to be that close. He failed
Bad
the audition.
parenting.
You're right.
Yeah, I
And that
know.
was-
Watching your documentary, it must have been really tough. It was kind of like a totalitarianism,
It was.
Terrible.
Well
It's
put. Well put.
a guy that's making decisions, but the other subjects don't dare push back. So the decisions go forward, and they're bad
so
ones.
frustrating. Because you
Very
guys were
was.
like a
For young
legitimate,
adults.
but you guys were a legitimate band. I mean, you guys all
Yes.
played. Did you ever do like gigs around Rhode Island before like you broke?
Oh God, yeah.
That's all we did.
All we did.
So in other words, you were a real working band.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know your first gig? We remember ours. It was $10. The Newport Women's Guild Club, 10 and 12-year-olds singing Connie Francis, Where the Boys Are. We had the brother band that went in 10th, 11th grade. The other two are in grammar school. We're playing at Dorian's, a club, doing what you did, 4 sets a night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We did
How
that
old
all
were
through
you,
high
Susan?
school.
You weren't in the
I wasn't
bar
even
gigs,
in the.
right?
I was born, but I was not in the band. I was 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And then
I got
your
the
dad-
band when I was
well,
8.
Then your dad said, "All right, let's throw her in the mix."
Pretty much.
You know,
Crazy.
the children created the whole thing, and
Yeah.
they just eventually took note of it, like, hey, these kids are pretty good, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
But
like
Dad had a 5th grade education.
not like my father.
Yeah, but he took something all the way to a top.
He
You
did.
know,
He
he probably
went to
stumbled
New
his
York
way up
back
the
and
ladder,
forth.
but he made it. And
I
then,
remember seeing you guys product placement. Now I know you guys didn't play Hofner guitars. I saw a gig where you all had like Hofner brand new.
I'm holding the
guitars.
Hofner bass.
I'm doing a Hofner trumpet.
Yeah, one guys had the I think Bill had like a Hofner 6-string, no acoustic. It looked like a Gibson.
In those days, I can explain that.
Please.
In those days, you can get an endorsement deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Maybe
No.
Taylor Swift or Taylor Guitar, but that'd be the only one. But back then, the reason Hofner, we went and got all excited. We said yes to Hofner for that bass, for that Beatle bass. That's the only thing we wanted out of that endorsement deal.
Yeah.
And we got 2 or 3 of them. We took those other goofy guitars with the package. We were after the Beatle bass.
Why
But they
was I
made you play it
holding-
on TV, right, for product placement.
Oh, you had to do your thing where
Yeah.
your ad and your promotion. You made a deal. But
But that's not
honestly,
when you
Frank,
played live, probably. You played.
no,
on
we
your own.
didn't play them
No.
live. But even then, we got to be honest. We were vocals, singers, harmonizers.
Yeah.
If the guitar stayed in tune and had 6 strings, that guitar is probably going to work for our band. We don't need Les Paul Juniors. We don't need.
No.
We did need. We wanted Rickenbacker 12 strings and Gretsch guitars and the Hofner bass because of the Beatles. You know this.
You still
They
played
showed
the
us-
Tennessean.
Right. I still play it. They showed us, here's what you buy, here's what you look like, and here's some songs you can learn. Well, at our age, 14 and 15, and you too, you're right there in our wheelhouse. We
Yeah.
were primed for that instruction.
Oh,
And we
but
learned
it's
Beatles songs.
exciting. You're
Yeah.
figuring, wow, I'm playing like you said, the Women's Association. Now we get to make a record. Okay, we'll wear the Nehrus and the purple tuxes. Who cares? We're like kids.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like
we were all
Pavlov's
for it.
dog. You know what I mean?
Yes.
With those
We were
and
happy
probably
to be the
you,
dogs.
it was all about being in the studio and making records. That was the number 1. And then touring, that was number 2 for us. TV shows was number 3. Anyway, that's what we love to do. And if you're in a band where you get to write songs and you can go in and record them right away,
Of course.
those were great years. Those were
Frank
the best
Stallone,
years.
you
Yeah,
have
I
started
bet you wish
interviewing the Cowsills.
Susan, I bet you still wish you had those outfits. They would sell on eBay for a fortune.
I pick up. I've had a couple of pair of bells that I've been rolling out for about 8 years now. All my peasant shirts are back. I don't have to go anywhere but online.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's really funny because I tell all my friends, I said, yeah, I just went to see the Cowsills. They go, well, really? But I mean, how did I said they sound like the record? They sound great. And I think people sometimes think like Bobby Sherman. Bobby Sherman's a great guy. He was a self-manufactured, really handsome guy, an okay singer, but he was a nice guy. Everyone liked him. And one day it was over. He just said, and he became an EMT and he retired with all his money. He was very happy. He didn't, but he didn't play. He didn't do what you did. He was kind of manufactured on Shindig because he was a great looking guy and he had some hit records and a few specials. He did fine.
I think there's people, there's entertainers, there's lots of ways to present and why you do it, motivations. We're more the kids who music's in your soul, and our generation showed us music can happen, so we did it. But it's like art versus entertainment. Perhaps he's a good-looking guy, he's a nice guy, and he's got a nice voice. He made a nice career, and now he went off to do something that mattered to him.
Yeah, I don't have anywhere else to go like you. I mean, what was there a time when you guys weren't together? You just weren't playing. You were off married, doing your thing in the band.
There's been a couple, but
did you miss it?
We missed it to the point where it never lasted forever. We were always coming back, gravitating back to it. We still are. Now we're doing it full time. We can't believe it. It's like the beginning again, and we're going. Every year is better than the year before, and it's just like, this is Nutty Buddy, And Frank Stallone likes us. Frank Stallone likes us. What are you talking about?
Would you ever think like your kids would be playing in your band?
No.
We never thought we'd be doing this music at this age at all. Nor that the audience.
Jagger. Look at Mick and Keith.
Oh, we're ready to do it. We're ready to go, but we couldn't get it going. Which is, kind of like your story as well. We finally got it going. But every decade, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, something would happen. Good Morning America would call us out of the blue. Hey, we're doing this show. Where are they now? Or something. Would you come on this? And we're going, oh my God, this is it. We're going to the top this time. Yeah. And we'd get an album out of it. And then all of a sudden, crickets.
Nothing.
9 years,
Paul,
crickets.
On the old TV shows, weren't you playing keyboards?
Yeah, I played keyboard. I played bass and keyboards and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I remember I saw some pictures. You were playing the keyboard, right? And your other brother, the past, was the bass player, right?
Yes.
Well, Barry was the bass player. Bob was the keyboard guy when we had Billy, and and I was just banging a tambourine as hard as I could to make all those cleats go off of it. And then Billy left, and so then we had to adjust. And actually, it was a funny story. Our dad kicked our brother Bill right out of the band right when we were going to Purdue to do a homecoming concert. And so he comes up to Bob, and Bob's probably dumbfounded. I don't really know what Bob's head was at, but he was dumbfounded to say the least, because now it's on him. And he goes, and he points to me and he goes, Bob, you teach that guy the show on the keyboards and we'll be fine, And Bob wrote out all these charts for me and said G, G, G. And all of a sudden I was a bouncy kind of kid, and all those charts were gone from the farfisa. And I look over to Bob and I go, what chord? And he's going G, E, B. I mean, they all look the same to me. So I seriously pushed that thing right into the orchestra pit, and then I didn't have to play it at all. But no, I finally learned how to do it. And
it's like Danny Bonaducci. I used to do Danny's show. I said, Danny, I never saw, when I'm watching you with that bass. He goes, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. My fingers are just going. No. He's like, 1 second he's strumming, his fingers are like all over the place. He goes, the only one that had any real musical talent was probably Shirley, because she did musicals, and David was a good singer. But other than that, the rest of them were just like actors that
look. That little girl. I had to watch every opening segment of the Partridge Show and watch her not play. If you see me on Ed Sullivan and reach out, I mean, I'm like on the wild thing on this tambourine, and this girl getting her paw. It was weird. Barry and I actually did each other when we saw it for the first time in whatever that theater was, and he just looked at me and went, is that supposed to be us? And I went, I think so.
It's like the commercial Cars for Kids. These little kids playing.
I thought
they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just sitting there going, 1-800-CARS for. I'm just like,
Can't
Yeah,
believe he
yeah.
brought
touching
that
the
up.
keyboard.
If that kid, I can't believe he brought that commercial up. That drummer kid drives me bonkers.
It drives
But
me crazy. Cars for
nutty.
kids. And they're
You
pink
know
and
what?
black guitars. And it's like, hey.
What, Polly?
Well, I just wanted to let Frank know this is kind of an interesting thing. But, you were asking, hey, didn't you guys do your kids and all that? Well, I got drafted. Bob, we all had different things we were doing. But, the Partridge Family, it was a crazy thing that happened was while we were raising our kids and doing all this stuff out of the eye of the public, the Partridge Family were like huge. And then even in syndication, it was huge. And they were always being interviewed and asked, hey, so the Partridge Family, isn't that about a real live family, the Cowsills? And so that always got brought up. Even while we weren't out hitting the pavement, it just kept our name out there. And this was one of the great things of our life was that our name was remembered somewhat because of the Partridge Family show. It was crazy how that really helped us.
It's exactly taken from your family, the mother.
Yeah.
100%. It was for us, but the kids, we were too gawky and weird by the time they got to us, and they wanted Shirley Jones to be the mom, no matter what. And our dad was not going to do that. End of story.
That has been a huge thing for us.
Who was the Keith of the band? Keith,
Bob and Bill. And they just made one Keith.
I was Susan Day.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing about the Partridge Family, and now today we keep their light shining. We talk about them also. It would have been great if they did have a band. I think that would have been the coolest thing. But that
Shirley,
wasn't going to happen.
I'm good friends with Shirley, and she
are.
one of my shows at Vibrato, and I sang that song. There were bells on the hill from the Music Man.
Well, there was you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a great musical. She was really a good singer, Oklahoma.
Oh, Shirley.
Oh, man, we love her.
Love Shirley.
She's such a great gal. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to call her on her birthday, guys, but the one I've had for years that I've been chicken to do didn't work, but I've got a new one.
Okay. I saw a picture of her last week with Patrick and Sean. She's 90. And it was a beautiful little picture of her.
Her sons are madly in love with their mom. She's a great gal, man. Yeah,
she is.
I only asked this because you sounded so good at the California Music Hall of Fame. But do you perform at all ever? Are you done?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. We played like the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. Last gig I did at the Hard Rock, we sold out. It was myself and John Cafferty and Beaver Brown, and now we're going to go out with myself and Survivor. We're going to call it the Music and Movie Tour because they had a lot of hits in movies, and I had a lot of hits in movies. And we're good friends. Frankie Sullivan, who wrote all the hits, Eye of the Tiger. We're like really, really, really good friends. So we're going to go on that tour, and it'll be a lot of fun because original artists, playing.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I wanted Eric Carmen, but God rest his soul, he died like 3 weeks ago.
You wanted to put some pop in there?
Huh?
Awesome.
You wanted to put some pop in there.
Oh, yeah. And Eric was great. Talented guy. The Raspberries.
Can I ask, how do you know our Ron Dante? How did you guys meet? I just love to know.
I met Ron. I think we did some gigs like around town, and I said, are you sick of singing Sugar, Sugar? He goes, yeah, kind of. The artist. But where his real fame was is producing Barry Manilow, all those great
exactly
hits.
Yeah.
And Ron's been around a long time.
Oh my God.
We've had him on the podcast.
He's such a good guy.
We adore him. We are the biggest Ron fans ever.
You think Gary Puckett's not out on the tour this time?
Not this year, but he'll be back.
How about the Turtles? Is it just Mark?
It's just Mark.
Ron, who took Howard's place, and they do mix up the lineup. They try and mix it up every summer. You can't replace all six. The pool's not that large anymore.
How about Mark Lindsay? Does he still go up?
We expect him back next summer. I see him out there again. For a while he wasn't. He had some problems. But now I'm seeing him active again. So his catalog is fantastic.
Oh, they were great.
Hey, Frank,
like Chuck Negron, I don't know if he can go out now.
We just saw Chuck just a couple of days ago. Me and Susan stopped by his house, and he wants to try to make it. We told him, come to Costa Mesa. but he needs to get on this bike more than once a month. He needs to do his bike, his stationary bike. He needs to do it once a day. And if he does that, he could make it to the show.
Gary Lewis is a good friend of mine. I just talked to Gary last week.
Oh, cool.
You know how many hit records Gary Lewis and the Playboys had?
We did.
3 or 4 times more than the rest of us.
I mean, they have a lot of hit records, but he goes out. Huh?
Yep. Start naming them.
You guys ever gig with them?
Oh, we've done cruises that he's been on, but nothing where
we just did a cruise with him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
he's a really nice guy.
And Frank, that his producers, I think it was Snuff Garrett. Snuff Garrett had a lot to do with those hits. They knew what to do with this guy, and there was hit after hit after hit. It's unbelievable.
And again, he had his problems because his father was very mean to him. His mother was his manager, and so he said, my father was like really jealous of me. I go, Jerry Lewis was jealous of his 17-year-old son. But, he goes, man, we had a very tumultuous relationship. He goes, my mom was my manager. I was 17. I was playing drums at Disney. He was a really good drummer. It's like people forget how good of a drummer Karen Carpenter
was. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And after his heyday, after his heyday of hits, he actually had a band called Medicine, I think the name of them was. Mm-hmm. And our brother Bill was in that band with him during some crazy days.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where they were doing their thing.
Those were some nutty days.
So was Bill basically the leader of the group? Was he kind of your? Yes. He was the older brother. He was the good. He was like. Yeah.
We acquiesced.
He was the older brother,
and he was the lead singer.
That's a perfect way to say it.
He was the lead singer.
Frank, this Happy Together tour, we went out a whole summer without a turtle. Okay, you don't need a turtle on this tour to go do 60 shows and sell them out.
The association,
they're coming out this summer.
The thing is, the songs. It's the songs of the Turtles that go on tour. It's the songs of the. I mean, we're there, but we
just happen to be there.
Yeah, these songs are powerful.
It's like Foreigner. There's not one original group of Foreigner. Other than Kelly, Kelly Hansen's been the lead singer longer than the original singer.
And that happens.
They come to hear the songs.
Yes.
Yep. And he sounds like the guy. I mean, I saw the Doors 2000, and it was Ian Astbury was Jim Martin. He looked exactly like him and sounded just like him on stage. Ray Manzarek and Robbie Krieger. Yep. And John Densmore, for some reason, didn't want to do the gig. I go, what else you doing? I mean, Jim's been dead for 30 years. But they sounded, but he looked exactly like him on stage. He looked as good as Val Kilmer did when he did the Doors, but he sounded exactly like him. And people went ape.
Nuts. Mm-hmm.
He did like Riders on the Stone. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah.
He did, come on now, touch me. But he sounded like him, and he moved like him.
That's the good part of tribute bands. Yeah, and that's why the kids love them so much. This is as close as they're going to get, but it's close enough. And if you can pull off the look and the sound, especially the sound, that's what they're wanting more than even the look. But if you have that, that's a bonus.
I mean, it must be really, it's kind of fun. People ask me, go, do you ever get tired of doing Far From Over? I said, no, because it got me out of where I was stuck for a long time. I'll be grateful for that song forever. It changed my life. I mean, and the funny thing is, you do it a lot. Like you've done your songs a million times, but when you see the audience reaction, because it's new to them, they've never seen it. And they go, oh my God, it sounds just like the record. And they get really excited because they knew where they were when it came out, all that stuff.
Yeah. All of it. That's what keeps us coming back, Frank. I mean, we're not making $1,000 million. We do this because we hang out, it provides us to hang out with each other, and because it brings us joy, because it brings them joy. And we were fortunate enough to have been who we are. You have never going
to give you up too, though. I mean, that
never
is
going to give you up.
Yeah.
Come on. That's almost more well known than the other. I think anyway. It's just
what happened. I got to tell you what happened. That really is kind of weird.
Right.
Far From Over's out. It's a huge record, and I'm on a roll. And we're saying, okay, let's get Never Going to Give You Up out right away. But the Bee Gees, which I will hold nothing against them, I'm like the biggest Bee Gee fan in the world. I mean, I think I saw them years ago, way before Saturday Night Fever, and they were just unbelievable sounding. So I'm a fan. but for some reason there was something in the contract where they had to release their second record and it died. And so the momentum of me, 8-10 weeks is a long time, the record.
See, yeah.
So Never Gonna Give You Up came out. It was kind of more like AOC, but it would have been a great follow-up to that. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but,
man.
Such is life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure you cut records, you go, oh, this is the one for us. Well, no, let's try this one. You got
Yeah.
Yeah. We did that with our second release, and they picked a song that only went to the number 50, and we said we could have told you that, but no one listened to us. We're just kids,
Well, Indian Lake was the third one, right?
Yeah.
Indian Lake was our
good,
third
right?
big, our
Yeah,
third big
After We
hit.
Can Fly. Yeah, it was a big
did.
hit. It was.
And there's
we
no
can play
denying the summerness of it in the 1968.
Yeah, come on, man.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
It was sweet. It was sweet. It got us canceled at a casino now because of the Indian theme. We got canceled from the Four Winds Casino on the Happy
come
Together
on.
tour.
Yeah, for the war hoops.
We're not allowed to play there. So we get a night off on the tour because of Indian Lake. And we thank you, Indian Lake.
Jesus. I mean, people are so touchy.
Yeah.
Imagine if they tried to come out with All in the Family now, people would have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone
Can you
lost their
imagine?
sense of
Flintstones
humor.
wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Flintstones wouldn't fly.
Oh, no. Barney Rubble, forget about it. I mean, but the thing is, it's like everyone is so touchy and weird. And all
It
these
is.
great
It's a tough
shows,
world.
like
That's why we
Sanford and
like to
Son.
maintain just a, you know what?
Cowsill, for something you did when you were 8 years old, you're a banned from this casino. Now,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we probably came up with it, us little kids, because you guys
knows?
hated the song. You're like,
Did
do
you
whatever
ever
you want.
play that safari in Jackson, New Jersey called Great Adventure? Did you ever play
Oh, that
those
sounds
like
fun.
big theme parks?
No.
Oh,
Disneyland.
like Magic Mountain and stuff like that.
Disneyland.
We did
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Knott's Berry. Did we play Knott's Berry? Or was that
I'm
me?
sure
Yes.
you played them. But
Yes.
none of you guys live in Rhode Island anymore, right?
No, sadly.
No.
We're all over
Oh,
the place.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
what that big mansion you grew up in would be worth now? Oh, God.
Yeah, we know because we followed that mansion all the way to getting sold only 2 years ago.
It was huge, right?
30,
Yeah.
It
Too
was
big for us.
34 rooms, but then it got
34
divided
rooms?
and sectioned and fucked up.
But they didn't get anywhere near the money that it could have gotten. It was a quick sale. They only got like what, 4 million or something?
Yeah, it was
so
a
they
bad
kind
thing.
of sectioned it off. So in other words, it wasn't original like it originally
Right, but they could have gotten more. It was a family baloney estate moment where
Right.
y'all got
Right.
What a
but it
beautiful.
was gone.
Oh, it's beautiful. For a number of years, they split it in three and rented to the military
Yeah,
for
they did
a
that.
big part of its
Beautiful
history.
piece of land.
Now it's almost like my Gibson Explorer.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very much
It's
like
awesome. They sectioned off your house for like
in my heart. It is for sure because I love that.
Guitar players should have kept every guitar we ever owned
Oh,
because
man.
all of us would have
Did
a
you let a
collection.
few go? Did you let a few slip through your fingers, Bob?
I had
I
no
did.
guidance. No guidance. No
I
guidance.
let a
You did,
64 precision Fender bass. I don't even want to tell you what I can't even tell the story. It's so bad, but I don't have that.
Tell me what
that
year it was, and then
bass.
I'll know what happened to it.
I sold my 58 Les Paul in
No.
1970
No.
for $400, and I figured
No.
I was broke, but I did the calculations. $400 in 1970 would be now like $4,100. It's
Wow.
$12 to $1.
Yeah.
Whatever
I look
you need
back
to
and I
do.
go,
I wonder if
Oh,
cocaine
need-
makes that kind of thing.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. But
I
it
like
was
that
just
kind
like I
of
was
thinking about
starving
what would it be worth today. I think we've kept you long
200,000.
enough. I think we've kept you long enough, Frank.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah,
having a
gonna
great
wind us
time.
up.
I mean, I'm a
But
big
this
fan
is-
of you guys. I'm so happy. I mean, you noticed when you asked me to do your show, there was like a 2-second pause. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff. I felt very.
Have you ever had people go, I'd love you to do our podcast, to go, and you're
We've
have you ever
caught
gotten that?
people
Like they don't
ask-
really know your history or anything.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Careful about who we ask.
Listen, anybody under 50 looks like a
Yeah.
puppy who heard a whistle.
Yeah. If it was like
And-
New Kids
We
on the
don't-
Block.
We don't
Yes.
know. We would never have thought of Wait, let me get some contact information on Frank Stallone. Let's get him on the podcast.
No,
In my head. My
now
ego
with
couldn't have said
universe
that.
intervention, you'd
They
be in
couldn't have
there.
said it.
When are you playing? I want to see you guys. When are you gonna play out here with the band, not the Happy Together show, your like show with your own band?
We're in Las Vegas, November 8th
Oh,
at the Golden Nugget.
Oh,
We're
Yeah.
fun.
You'd have to fly. We don't come to LA per se. We've never been an LA performing kind of band, although we think we could have a fun night at the Troubadour. But you got to talk. You got to
But you're
talk
playing
people into it.
Cerritos, right?
We're going to be at the Orange County Fair at Humphreys in San Diego, the Happy Together tour, and
that's not
up
full
in
band.
Not
Ojai. We're
not
going to be
full
in
band.
Ojai on the
Oh, that's
17th
great.
of July. So the
You think
tour
you'll
comes
play
out.
LA? Is Happy Together going to play LA at the Saban again?
I
Just-
Not this
it's-
summer.
Not this summer. A lot of venues are every other year. Now we try and
Right.
explain to them this is not the tour you want that policy to be applied
Yeah.
to, but they don't understand. So
Yeah.
it's
Ron
every other
goes-
year.
Ron says, Frank, I gotta get you on the Yacht Rock tour. I said, yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, see that I'm trying to figure. It's like, come on, there's got to be. What about the '80s or what?
Malt shop cruise. What about the malt shop?
Oh my God, you could kill the malt shop.
Well,
cruise.
now it's like, think about it. Now there was the big 60s thing a long time ago. Now it's moving up to
further
the
back.
80s, 70s and 80s, stuff like that, which is
So
Yeah.
that's like the big. That's
It's your wheelhouse.
there is an '80s, '70s. That's where all our Guess Who guys. They had another direction. They had that.
what's Guess Who without Burton Cummings is kind of weird, considering
But Frank, the same way.
It's
So-
a Foreigner thing. Bands like Foreigner, who need that great, you got to have not just a good singer lead, you got to get the lead singer.
How about Journey?
Okay.
Yeah.
Journey, same thing.
Yeah.
I know,
When I
Derek
heard
does
Cold,
one
we
hell
saw
of a
Foreigner on
job.
the cruise.
Guess Who.
Foreigner did Cold as Ice. Like this guy was nailing Cold as Ice.
Oh, Kelly Hansen's great. Oh no,
well,
he's
that's
great.
what the Guess
Drummer.
Who have. The Guess
Guess
Who have
Who
a
have
guy
Derek,
like
and
that.
he is phenomenal, Frank.
What's
He was
Derek's
sound like
last
Burton.
name?
Really?
I know it. He 3 L's, but that's not
Yeah,
it.
Guess Who
Oh, I
on their own have eked out where they're happy together. We need each other. The bands who did it right and worked hard and earned it are Peter Noon, Tommy James.
Peter Noon's show, is his show great or what?
Yeah.
It's great. He doesn't need
what's
anyone
funny?
else.
On stage, he looks
Eric
like,
Sharp.
on stage, he looks like he's 20 because he's still got that real thick mop of hair. And then you go
Yeah.
backstage with his glasses on, he's like a grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're 80 years old. He's probably 78 years old.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
But on stage, and again, you forget how many hits he had. A lot.
Oh,
For sure.
I'm
Incredible.
really down on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because, my friend died in the plane with Jim Croce. He was his lead guitar player. I said, I don't understand. How's Joan Baez in the Rock and Roll of Fame and Jim Croce and John Denver aren't?
That's
Or
so
Nina
weird.
Simone, but I mean, Jethro Tull's not in. Emerson, Lake and Palmer's not in. Toto's not in. It's unbelievable.
Political. I
It's
hate
very
to use the word. I hate to use
Yeah.
the word, but it is.
yeah.
It is.
Not on our podcast, Joe.
I mean, Joan Jett is in there.
Joan Jett's in, but the Grassroots had like 15 hit records. Three
Yeah,
Dog Night
I
had
know.
like 22 charted records.
Yes.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
But
something
Nina
kind of
you
Simone's
guys.
in. I don't get it. I didn't know Nina Simone was a rock star. I mean, but it is political. And you know what? Kid Rock's a great guy. He goes, you know what? You can't cancel me. It doesn't matter because there's 40,000 people out there tonight, and there's going to be 40,000 people out there in 2 days, and on and on and on. Ted Nugent said the same thing.
10 million
I'll never be on
Elvis
the
fans
cover of
can't be
Rolling
wrong.
Huh?
The Elvis fans can't be wrong. I mean, it's the proof is in the pudding.
It doesn't matter. They
doesn't
have
matter.
their fans, and
Yeah.
their fans are going to go. And they always said, "I'll never be in Rolling Stone," but he doesn't care. He just goes out and does his thing. And
He does.
it's a great show.
All right,
What's
you
the name
kids.
of your band? Did you name your band that you're going to go out there with? Is it just you and Foreigner?
It's just
Like-
me. It's just me and Survivor. So it's called Stallone Survivor, Survivor Stallone. And it's called
Well, you're working, man. That's big time.
Yeah,
come
I mean,
on.
I got to tell you, the Hard Rocks. Have you ever played the Hard Rock?
We play a couple of them.
The one in
During
Atlantic
the summer.
City, you would kill. It's a great one. The one in Hollywood, Florida is good.
We've never. Where did we play, you guys? What hard rock did we play?
No,
play,
in Vegas, we're loyal to the Golden Nugget. So what are
Right.
you
Oh,
going to do?
Nugget's great. Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
the
great.
Wow.
We have a great time there every year. Every year, we love it. And then we play
yeah.
the Cutting Room in New York City every year.
Oh, the
We'll be
cutting
there.
room's
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, we're there
yeah, we
just
love it.
Full band December 6th in the Cutting Room coming up. So we
Yes.
do we start it
Yeah.
twice a year there.
We
So
were doing our reality show and we did a scene from the cutting room. And the guy goes, "Yeah, Frank, you remember me." The owner, I forget what his name is. Guy.
Steve.
Steve.
Steve. And it's really a cool place.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love
we love
them.
it.
We love
do,
it.
do you remember
It's
the
our
Fender
shed.
guitar? Remember the Fender
Huh?
guitar chandelier when you walk in?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a famous chandelier.
Isn't the bar
Famous.
shaped like a guitar too, right?
It does
That's
have a
awesome.
Yes.
very, it looks, yes, yes.
Well, you
Very
know
cool.
what? I figure my theory is go where they love you, man. If you know
Yeah.
what, doesn't matter. Like I played a gig in Miami, Oklahoma at the Buffalo Run Casino. And so I'm there. Well, I said, "Do you think they'll like what we're doing?" He goes, "Well, we'll do a meet and greet." I said, "Okay." So I'm sitting out there, in the audience, guys with like caterpillar hats, like, with like nugget jewelry, like wearing coveralls. I go, "Oh boy." Anyway, we got like an ovation. They loved it because my theory is Sinatra said, just do your show. Don't alter your show.
That
Just
man,
do your show the best you can. And I goes, "Well, meet and greet." I said, "Well, how do I know who the high rollers are that you want me to meet?" Now, this is in the middle of nowhere. He goes, "Probably the guy with the less teeth and the gold." The guy,
Lord.
they're sitting there chewing tobacco. I said, "Does this guy, does he work here? Is he like a custodian?" He goes, "Frank, he's the highest roller in the whole casino." Guy's sitting
Yeah.
there going, "So I like you." Oh, boy.
Great story. That's a great story.
crazy. So are we
You
going
know
to
what?
see you this summer, Frank Stallone? Are you going to come see us somewhere?
Yeah, if you're nearby, if you're where's
I find, same to you. I'll find where you're
Costa
playing.
Mesa ain't nearby, and neither is Humphreys.
Costa Mesa's not bad.
It's pretty
Is your
great.
is your Survivor tour going all over the country?
Well, we're gonna
We'll look
probably
for that.
start at the Hard Rocks and get it going. But again, I don't have an agent. Survivor has kind of an agent. It's weird. Like in all the movies I've done, no agents had nothing to do with this. Like, someone sees you. Like I just bumped into my friend Eric Roberts. He works about 220 days a year. He goes, "Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Frank, I do lousy movies, then I do a good one. I do, but what else am I going to sit around the house?" He goes, "I'm like the modern Michael Caine. I just go out and do whatever, they
Yeah,
say
he's in
throw
everything.
Rick, he'll
Now,
do
who
it.
books you? Do you book yourself?
No,
Paradise.
Paradise Artists.
Oh, Paradise. Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a pretty good company. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
good with it. Yeah, they've
They
been
turned
very
me
good.
down. So,
They
They
turned you
did?
down?
oh, yeah.
I don't get
Millions.
that.
A
I
long
don't-
time ago, probably about 15 years ago. And
Well,
I said,
Oh,
but what are you going to do? It's really frustrating for me because I think we have a really good show and it's really great musicians. I have 9 pieces. I have 5 horns in the
Wow.
regular rhythm section. Oh yeah, it's a big show.
I find it hard to believe.
Mitchell Cardunia is a guy out there that we were with for a while.
Mhm.
And Mitchell Cardunia.
Mitchell Cardoon.
Yeah.
Now, do you
I find
travel
it
by
hard
bus?
to be-
Are you
What?
on the ground or are you flying?
No, we don't have enough in a row to be on a bus ever.
Cowsills? Hell no.
No.
You know what I think? People go, "Well, if I do 40 shows," I go, "That's actually 120 days." Because usually, I don't know about you, I don't trust the airlines. I go in the day before, do the show, and leave the
Oh,
next.
yeah.
Always.
So
No day
basically,
show
one day
stuff.
is 3 days.
Yes, it
sir.
is.
Every time.
Yes,
So
it is.
50 shows is like 150 days a year.
No, because we're doing one-nighters. We're doing 6 shows a night. We do a show, and then
6
at
shows a
midnight,
week.
the bus drivers come, and those buses take off. We wake up at the next venue
Oh,
all
really?
summer.
Yeah.
So is the Happy Together tour on the ground?
One
Yep,
nighters.
we're doing
Yes.
it by buses.
2 buses, one nighters. 6
How
a
many-
week.
5 ton.
Who do you share the bus with?
Ah, the
Women.
crew. The crew.
That's
and
more
then,
fun.
It's total fun. Total fun.
and the road manager. And then whoever the other 3 folks are that fill up the other 3 bunks when Huey, Dewey, and Louie get in theirs. That's me, Bob and Paul.
Different every summer.
So
Different every
the
summer.
association often will be on the bus with us, or we'll get maybe the Classics 4 guys when they're not driving. We had Chuck, the Negrons for a
Those
while.
those guys are brought to hotel rooms every night. The three of us literally live on the bus with the crew. So we do it's easier, it's more fun. More fun.
Well, whoever puts that tour together, it's very organized. It sounds great.
Thank you. I will let them
It's
know.
very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
let our
It's a-
bosses know.
It's a good
I saw
deal.
you guys twice at the Saban.
I'm still
Oh,
not
okay.
than that.
You know, they
Oh, yeah.
remodeled the Saban, and it is beautiful now.
Yeah.
Dressing rooms and all that. Whoa.
You know, a lot of guys want to work, like Johnny Rivers. I mean, he doesn't have to work. He's extremely wealthy from publishing and all.
Right.
But you know, they come to a certain point. Like I remember I was in Nashville with Felix Cavallari. I go, why don't you guys play? I mean, you guys, it's like, you know, you've known each other for 60 years. He goes, well, you know, man. And then they went out and did a tour. They go, never had more fun in my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
It's a gift.
We're a different animal. You know, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
people, hey, man,
It's a
always
gift.
guy the picket fence. I said, we picked the wrong guy. That's definitely no.
Right, people. Frank
All right,
Stallone is
Robert.
going to promise next
Yeah.
time he's in our audience, he'll get word to us so we can go gaga goo goo over that. Because
Well,
we
I
found out he
do,
was
you
in
know.
there twice without knowing. And
I am
Frank, we are your
tickled to death.
supporters. We're going to talk big about you because we've heard you sing and man, we're fans. I don't
Yeah.
know
You
what
gotta
else to
watch it.
say.
You know what? What'll be fun for you to watch on the bus if you do get Amazon. I mean, if you get
Netflix.
Paramount Plus, the second season of The Family Stallone.
Oh,
It's our second
yeah.
season. It's my brother, myself, and my three nieces. And of course, I am like, since I'm the uncle that's single, I'm like Ed Norton or Kramer. I'm the one that
Okay.
throws the monkey wrench into the works. You know what I mean? My nieces are
Yeah.
like, dude, lock, I can't find a guy. I go, so what? You know what I mean? So
You
I'm
have
like,
a reality show with your brother and your nieces?
oh
Is what
yeah, we were
You're
number
telling our
one.
audience this as we're saying
Susan?
bye-bye.
Remember, I
We
was
were
telling you
number
the
one
one.
last year. We were number
Yeah.
one last year. There's our second season on Paramount Plus.
Oh, Bob.
Called The
I
Family
saw the
Stallone.
episode, Frank, where the
I'm going
girls.
tonight.
I saw the episode, Frank, where the girls were talking about your panic episodes, to be candid, and
Yeah.
that was very. I just seeing you with the girls like that, Uncle, and hearing all this Uncle Frank stuff was great.
Well, the one you got to see is where my brother, we're in Italy.
that
My
was
brother
about
said, hey, you got to wear these Speedos. I said, I'm not wearing Speedos, but they were like a size too small. So the girls are there with the makeup. You know, they're, you know how girls are that young, you know, with everything, you know, lock,
Everything
you
everywhere.
lock. So I grabbed one of the falls that they were going to put on and I stuck it in my Speedos. So I've got like this like wig sticking out of my Speedos. That was really good, grossed them out, but that's part of the show. And I sing on
Yeah.
the show. We went back to my father's town where he was born in Italy. There was 11,000 people showed up. Sly was there. They made us citizens of the town. And Sly goes, go up and sing. So I went and sang Far From Over with a 4-piece Italian band, which was
Excellent.
really cool.
And it
That
worked.
is
Wow.
It
cool.
worked. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, of course
music.
it
I
did.
mean, if you can read music, it's in any language, you know. And
So
but
go
that
watch
is
The
awesome.
Family Stallone. Now we tell
Yeah,
our
on
listeners.
Paramount
Go-
Plus.
Yeah, on Paramount Plus. Go see it.
also
I'm
the-
going tonight.
Uncle Frank's bourbon before you watch the show, you'll need it. No,
Okay,
And also, that's very funny.
before, during, and after.
after, right?
Before, during, and after, and the documentary is also, by the way, on
Yes.
Apple Plus. Apple Plus, okay, has it also.
And Amazon,
I found that out.
Amazon. I saw
And
it on
Amazon
Amazon
Prime.
Prime.
Yeah, Amazon
Now,
Prime.
Before we leave, do you all live in the same state or different places?
Oregon.
California, Oregon, and New Orleans. Susan.
Susan lives in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I like New Orleans.
I
It's
do
such
too.
a funky place. My father always said, I love New Orleans. It's a velvet lined sewer.
Nice. Hey, I'm going to grab that.
Seen both sides.
So right.
Well, it's funny. I went to this club there called the Dungeon. Are
I
you
know
crazy?
it well. My Carlo used to bartend there. Go.
If there was a fire in that place, there's no doors, there's no windows.
I've been
It's
in
like
the
just
dungeon, my friend.
brick. It's just red
Oh,
brick.
the dungeon.
Oh,
Yeah,
the dungeon. Very
the
good.
dungeon.
All right.
Hey, man, I
Frank,
love
Thank
you
you
guys.
so much. Thank you
Love
so
you
much.
guys, man. And
Love you.
let me know when it's airing, and I'll plug it on my Instagram and all that stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Should be
Okay.
next
It's
Wednesday.
gonna go up tomorrow. Okay. This is
Well,
this
send
week's
it. if you can send me a link, I'll put it up. Because I
Sweet.
did
Totally
say
do that.
something today
Yeah.
on my Instagram that I was going to be doing your podcast today.
Awesome.
So I
I will
did
send
that.
you the info when Danielle puts it up when they get it up. So
Okay, man. Love you guys.
Love you,
Frank,
Frank.
thanks for
Thank
coming
you
on.
so very much.
That was so
All right,
I
babe.
love the documentary.
I love
Thank you.
everything about this.
Frank, that is.
That is.
Love
Yeah.
great title. Bye
All right.
all.
Thank you,
See
guys.
you, kids.